month, if you can afford to do that. But you don't have to go to a fancy hotel or anything like that. You just go to dinner or go to a movie and have an encounter and make it fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but if more people would do that, I think we'd have a lot more people that stay
Well,
married longer.
even just simple, just hanging around, with your significant other on the couch watching a movie and having a movie night. Make your own
Or
popcorn there
or
and have a movie
playing
night.
games. You know what game that I play with my kids? Have you ever heard of it's a horse race game? It's a little track and you have little pegs and you roll dice and you have the horse moves around the track, and whatever horses make it to the finish line, first, second, and third, you split the pot up, the money that you put in there. But it's a lot of fun, and it teaches you a little bit about betting and things like that, so you can understand the concept of it. But it's a fun game because you get to roll dice and you get to count and try to bet on what you think is going to win. And it's just a lot of fun. And we do it. We just lay on the floor and play that. And there's lots of fun games that you can play like that. But, I just think more people should try to do things as a family or as a couple to reignite what caused you to fall in love in the first place, because so many people seem to lose it. Because you get so busy and then you're tired and you just don't spend time with each other anymore. So you grow apart. And
I remember what Ali Sheedy said in the Breakfast Club. It's unavoidable when you get older, you die inside.
Oh, that's terrible. Everyone dies, but the thing is what you leave behind is what's the most important. The memories you leave behind other people. Oh, I'm there. He's down there. I'm so sorry. I wasn't even seeing you there. Hi, Rex. Thanks for joining us.
Merry Christmas. Halloween.
He's coming as Santa Claus tonight. I'm sorry. How long have you been down there? Forever?
Oh, a couple minutes, but it was interesting.
Okay. Well, I feel terrible. It's right in front of me too, but I don't even look down there. I'm looking at what's on the screen or trying to read the chat.
Or looking at your own breasts. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But we were talking about different movies, what our favorite scary movie was.
Oh yeah. And relationships, you got to feed the fire,
and
like I said in the chat.
That's the favorite scary movie.
Yeah. I always talk about that.
You gotta make that popcorn, with a good flick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know what I really like? I really do enjoy all of the memes that are going on Halloween right now, especially with JD Vance. It's hilarious. He did the meme. He dressed up like fat JD Vance. It was hilarious.
Well, you got things like this in culture, they should bring us together. They should unify us and not tear us apart, We need to find the common ground, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
With our entertainment. Entertainment used to really unify us.
And some people really are working hard to try to unify people with entertainment. And some of the stuff that they were trying to force down our throats is slowly just withering away. And I'm really happy about that, because we have to stop just taking whatever they hand us and start searching for something better, even if it's watching old movies. You know what I mean? Getting together with your friends, watching some old stuff that's actually good stuff that you can enjoy. Like I've had get-togethers, and we'll watch, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and people can dress up and come. Or I've had a couple friends that have written basically a little script out and did a murder dinner, where everybody shows up as a character and then somebody ends up dying and we have to figure out who the murderer is.
Kind of like Clue.
While you're hanging out.
Yeah.
So, there's so many fun things that you can do and enjoy yourself. Oh, here we go. He likes Casablanca.
But
that's not a horror movie.
Or in my case, like become the entertainment you want to see, which, I'm doing my own comic book, and there's others within the YouTube community doing their comic work and their artwork and stuff. And they're not waiting for, Marvel or DC, who's went woke in a big way in certain regards, to entertain them anymore. They're making their own entertainment. You know.
Yeah, I have a few friends that have done just that, Devil Flyer. So
Mhm.
I got my buddy Vinny Art. I think he's working on his 7th campaign now, and my other buddy Chris Fisk that's doing his Infinitale Chronicles. He just got his 2nd book out, and he's looking towards what he's going to do for his 3rd book. They're creating their own content. They're like stuff that they know that they enjoy
Hey,
that
Lloyd.
these main companies are not putting out. But one of the other things, Janet, you were talking about with a lot of these people where they can't seem to let a lot of this mainstream stuff go, the stuff that is not really that enjoyable, they keep going back. And the biggest thing is I say, because I see it with a lot of stuff, because I do all this toy reviews and I'm always talking about these toy companies. And the biggest problem is brand loyalty. These people get this brand loyalty thing in their head and they can't let it go for anything. And I see it with a lot of the toys and different franchises that I constantly buy all the time, where these people are just simps for these couples. Just take my favorite of all time, which was Transformers. The people cannot let the brand go. They cannot let Hasbro go, and they feel like no matter how bad did these companies screw them over, that they have to keep supporting them no matter what. That's what people have to wind up getting away from, is the brand loyalty. Once they get away from that, you're going to see a return to good entertainment again. You're going to see a return of good quality toys and stuff, and all the things that we want to see that would change a lot with our culture. That's what you need. You need people to drop that brand loyalty.
Do you think, Tommy? I totally forgot about the writing and stuff you're doing, but do you see? Well, I know that the gatekeepers are really, really tight now, and that's why we have to go independent if you want to write a book or anything. But do you think that the powers that be are going to wake up and say, hey, we can't gatekeep this stuff, we're not going to bring any money in? But because again, it's like, if you can do it independently, because nowadays with the internet and all the stuff that at your disposal, you can do it. You don't need them. But what can they do to entice back, or or is it too far gone, or is independent going to be more prominent now?
Well, I think one of the things that you're going to see is, as you see independent creators do what they're doing, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that are doing independent right now, and some of these people have big YouTube channels, and they're absolutely derivative to what is supposed to be done, because they're all about drama and everything like that. But you're going to see the rise of some of these independent creators. They're not about the drama. They're all about the content that they're actually feeding to the people that are buying their product, to the fans. It's a love letter to the fans, not only to what they want to see, but to the fans out there. As we see these people rise, you're going to start to see these bigger companies that are smart enough to course correct. You will see some of them. I don't think all of them will. I think some of them are so ingrained in this political nonsense that they're not going to let it go until they go under. And I've already seen it with a few of these toy companies where they're doing the same thing. They're so ingrained with the agenda and pushing this shit in their toys and their subsidiary products to push the toys, whether it's cartoons, whatever, they're going under. I mean, look at Hasbro. There's a big example right there where the entertainment end of it, where they're pushing with the cartoons over heavily with agenda, is actually affecting their bottom end sales for their toy lines. And they're in big trouble right now. They are heavily in the red. And why? Because they won't course correct. They see the writing on the wall and they still won't course correct. So I think, yes, Ruben, some of them will, but not all of them. It's going to be like it back in the days of the Wild West, where you had Mirage Studios rose up out of nothing.
But here's my concern. Here's why I asked the whole thing. Let's send it up. Because what happens if a entity too big to fail starts to fail? We have to have it regulated. So they're already doing it now. There are companies out there that are buying up YouTube channels and partnering with YouTube channels to basically help them create content and do stuff. We'll give you a studio. We'll do this with stipulations and all that stuff. And you've seen that before. But the thing is that I've tracked this. And they have underhanded ideals, because it's YouTube. It's still Google. But my fear is, and it happened when publishing started happening, like in the late 19th century, 1890s, 1910s, when they basically said, oh, we have to have like publishing censorship, you have to do this. And then radio. So when a new medium is created and you have it saturated or overtaken, it's fine, it's stable. But if there are pockets that come up, they'll start to regulate it. They were doing that because Twitter became regulated because of what people were doing. It's free now, but people are now trying to regulate it back. You saw what the Democrats were doing to Twitter. They're going to do the same thing with the internet. they're doing it in fucking Britain, where you have to have an ID to log in now for certain
Yeah.
content. Now, if a state wants to do that, I can understand the state wanting to do it. It's a state's rights thing, whatever. You can leave a state if you want to. But that's what I think is going to happen next. Right now, the protectionist aspect, they're going to start to do certain things. They've talked about this. The movie that I remember very recently was The Aviator with Howard Hughes, where they had where they basically the whole subplot was TWA can't do this because we have to protect the flyers and this and that. And so they're going to, and they're already doing it now. But they're doing it in a very dumb way. We're saying, oh, we don't want like Trump because he's racist. That's for everything. It's racist. He's bad. He's evil. He's Hitler. This and that. There is no policy. It's just attack. So they're doing what was done back in the day, like what Hearst did. You know what the Hayes Code did. They were trying to shame stuff. And they did like you. I don't know if you remember the scandals that have happened, like Fatty Arbuckle. You know, like all those things that happened. That happened. It's happening now too, Diddy, and all that stuff. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing that our money that we put into these companies was weaponized against us. We put money into Nike, and then Nike comes after us.
Yeah,
I'm just pulling that product out of a hat.
But that's a thing. But now we are in the age of the content creator. But we've always been the age of the influencer. There have been, again, you could say that freaking Jesus was an influencer. Mohammed was an influencer. You know, Benjamin Franklin was influencer. You know, Joan of Arc was an influencer. You could say that theoretically, because that's why the powers that be want to quelch or silence those things, either by regulation or whatever. So we have to be very, very careful. Because I'm writing books. Some, I would say, 25% is fiction and 75% nonfiction. But I'm going to self-publish because what I'm going to say is totally against what everyone wants. But I accept that because I don't want to go be mainstream. And that's the thing. People are going to the lure will be to be mainstream. Like the lure is with Congress. You notice that somebody like Ocasio-Cortez, bartender, debt, now is a multimillionaire. What the fuck happened? Nancy Pelosi, and we let it happen. We don't get involved.
That's right. Our eyes are wide open, right? And
but we're not letting it happen. The emperor has no clothes. We're not talking about it. But then
I think more people are waking up though. But
the thing is that they're not. The election should not have been as close as it was, in my opinion. It still was.
Ruben says
the fact
we're
that she got 60 million votes. No,
the thing is, the reason it was so close is because it was cheating. And now that stuff's coming out, hopefully each state will do the best they can to quell the cheating and change things so that it won't happen again. Because there wasn't as much cheating in every state as there was in some states. Now, remember, if it hadn't been for the swing states, Biden wouldn't have won last time. So that's where those states are the ones that really need to look at the most. Arizona was, so much stuff's coming out about the cheating in Arizona. So we just have to be patient and let people do their job, but not take our foot off the gas, because as soon as we sit back and become complacent, that's when it just goes right back under the carpet.
But this is the time. Trump's doing it right theoretically, where he's pushing hard every single day. Stopping 7 conflicts in less than 7 months, theoretically. So that urgency's there. Where again, every time there's a crisis with Trump, he solves it right away. Get it done. Boom. Get it done. Get it done. Get it done. And then everyone else, like California, the fires, they haven't started building yet. And no one's talking about it because it's Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's going to run for president. He's not going to win. But here is where we have to speak out. And this is where we all, Tommy, myself, have to be different in a way. And Tommy's doing it already because you're writing and stuff. We have to write. We have to speak our own voice and not be afraid. Because in my opinion, writing is the first line of the aspect of free speech. They're trying to like to hold all these transgender crap books they have in there. They don't want to get rid of. Well, then if I put my book in there, then you don't go after my book either. That's what I'm saying. It's fair play, but we have to fight. So I'm going to self-publish and do everything on my own. And I want to, I think that we should have a federation per se. Talk to Eric July, talk to other people, get people involved, find out hey, who's a good copy editor, who's a good writer, who's a good illustrator. Fuck the AI shit. We want to encourage people to start doing it on their own. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, I heard somebody was complaining. So like the kid was the parent was complaining with the kid. Says, "Why do I need to learn by times table? I have a calculator on my phone." No, you need to learn this shit. So this is where it's going to be. I mark my words. It happened before. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. But I'm not talking about money. Intellect. The people are getting dumber by the day.
Yeah, but all this
and
stuff,
super people are getting smarter.
Yeah, but there are people getting smarter, because I have been really shocked to see how many people are coming out against people on the free food and all that stuff for being a baby mama, that kind of stuff. And a lot of Black men were making videos I've been watching on different platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X. I've seen videos of them saying that they're hoping that this whole thing, and that Trump won't quit, that Trump won't give in, because these young women, and not all of them are Black women either, because I've seen a lot of white women bitching and moaning about not going to get their food for their babies and stuff too. But the thing is, they're saying maybe some of these women will go back to their men instead of asking the government to raise their kids and let the dads be dads again. And I hope that will happen. I want to see more people decide to get married and have a family together.
But you have to,
as a team.
Yeah, but you have to remember that they in right during the Vietnam War, around that time of the Vietnam conflict that was going on, that we started, that they did this on purpose. They went after what? The only thing is that yeah, I know. That's literally that's the worst thing. I heard recently, where they have graduates, or two of them, graduates from college at their job, can't read. And then of course graduates from high school who are in college who can't read. I'm going, you can't read? But that's the thing. So here's the thing. What is it? My entire life, people say, "What are you doing?" I'm doing three things, or actually four things. Either I'm reading, writing, playing an instrument, or studying, whatever, or doing meditating, whatever, playing my instrument, whatever. Which is meditation. I don't enjoy watching sports. I don't understand sports. It's retarded. I don't get it. It's sitting there like I would shoot myself after like 5 minutes of watching a D&D game. Literally, I would shoot myself. That's why I don't ever going to watch it. But that's the whole thing, where reading is so important. Well, I should say reading comprehension is so important, because you will comprehend. It's like, you have, I don't know. I can't fathom it, because I love to write. And again, when I send a text message, I send a paragraph, I send text messages, or I send an email. It's a lot. And it's just like people don't read, people don't write anymore. it's just sad, but they got start.
I think I'm on a couple of websites, because I write scripts, screenplays and shorts. I'm writing an actual novel, basically, about vampires and, good against evil. Oh,
a story. It's a fictional story, or?
Yeah, it's fictional, of course.
No, I thought you were doing a history of vampires story, not
No,
a.
no, I'm writing
No,
a
you're
book about archangels and how angels work with certain humans to help them get rid of vampires, the plague of
Yeah,
vampires,
but that's that.
from the
Okay,
curse of
that's
the
that's
devil.
that's
That type of
the
stuff.
way you describe it. It sounds like it's a manual. Here is your well. That is a way to do
I'll
it
let you
theoretically.
read it if
That
you
is a,
want to
that
read
is
it.
a
I'll
way,
send it to
that
you.
is a pathway to do a book. You
Mhm.
could put out the book as here is the witch's guide for the human how to deal with evil spirits as a parody book.
You're in my Discord, aren't you?
I don't even know. I have it. I don't even use it. It's
Okay,
just
well, have
on
you?
there.
I have in my Discord. Is one of the first things I did was I put a whole story in there about how not to become
Of course, you're
a
asking me this now.
be eaten by cannibals. Because remember when Joe Biden came out and said that his uncle was eaten by cannibals?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay. After that, I made this whole little spiel in there about how to make sure you're not ever eaten by cannibals. You know, not bathing.
Okay, I
stuff
see
like
your
that,
thing.
you smell bad. You know, it was a whole jokey, goofy thing. But I do
Jesus.
dumb stuff like
Get it?
that.
Well,
Sometimes.
that's the last post you sent me was November 27, 2024.
Oh, what you
Well, here,
want?
real quick. So talking
in-
about that real quick, you're talking about doing
Yeah.
it like manuals. So there actually is a few companies that were putting out manuals like that. So everybody remembers Haynes manuals for automotives. So they
Yeah.
actually have a few of those Haynes style books, but they're supposed to be for zombie apocalypse survival vehicles and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And they actually have another like Haynes manual on what gear to use for the zombie apocalypse. And so there's actually companies that have been doing books like that. I don't know how well they sell, but there are people doing them.
But that's creative. To me, that's a creative aspect. Because that Janet, when you said that, that's what it looked like to me. And it'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be funny. But the thing is that on the websites that I'm on, there's a like Coverfly, there's a whole bunch of different ones, and it's people like me that are trying to get somebody to read their screenplays and maybe make them into a movie or option them in some way or buy them from you.
So
The thing
that's
is there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that are writing, and they're writing books or writing novels or writing short stories or writing poems, all these different things. It's just that they don't have money. They don't have the means to get into Hollywood to get somebody.
but
to
you don't need
actually-
Hollywood.
Okay, a lot of people believe that they do. How do you get your stuff made into a movie if nobody reads it?
Well, again, I'm not in the movies business, but I know logic, and the way I do it, I have a story idea. I write down the idea of a story. It's a paragraph or whatever. So it's a treatment. Then
Yeah.
from there, you build the story and build that treatment into a short story, something you can read. It's the beginning and end. It's everything. Then
Yeah.
from there, you can go out. Okay, character development, this and that. You build it up. You build. So the path of already having a script and putting it out there to me is dumb. It's stupid.
Mhm.
In fact, it's the old school way of doing it. I'm a script
Yeah.
writer. I'm going to write a script, send it off. No, be the producer and you do everything. You can do that now.
Yeah, and I got a lot of friends that
You have
are do
Steven-
that.
Yeah,
They write,
everybody,
produce,
you
put
all
it out.
have a fucking phone now that is better than a camera that you had like 5 years ago. People they're making fucking movies with iPhones,
Mhm.
major motion pictures. They come out.
Yeah.
The software is available. You can do it. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm sick and tired of people saying that, oh, I'll put it out there so someone can actually see it. No, it's time to do. And that is where you're going to get the push, even more pushback.
Yeah,
You
and
think
when
you think it's
when you
bad
get
if
your
you
little
put your
thing
script out
set
there and no
up-
one reads it? If you fight,
Yeah,
they're going to fight
when
back.
you get your stuff set up, like you were saying about getting these people together, like you were talking about, then I'll let you look at some of the stuff I have, and you could say, "Hey, this is pretty good. Why don't you read it?"
But that's yeah.
Yeah.
So then I'm putting it out here right now. I know it's Halloween, but this is what I've always thought about doing. And I talked about Janet with you for a few times.
Yeah,
We have within the fellowship, there's so much creative energy, but it's not directed. Now, if there's primitive war, we could do shit like this because again, here's the thing. Because again, primitive war came out, and I bet you 9 out of 10 of us said, "Man, we could have done that." Yeah, we could have done that. That's the whole point. That's what I want to do. I think that's again. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm going to start writing and putting things out. I want to produce stuff because I think that we should have like a con. Like, Tommy brings his books and all the stuff. You bring your scripts. I bring my things, and then we invite everybody to do it. We help each other out. That's what we have to do now. Because again, the government's not coming to help us. I don't want them to help us. I want them to get out of the way, and we have to do it this way. I think, But again, this for me. This Halloween season, because I had planned. I'm writing all this shit, so I had planned to do things, but I put everything on the back burner. But everything out there is very nice. I like it. It's beautiful. I want to go through some stories before we go, but it's out there. Halloween is Halloween. To me, it's a season of how would you say it? It's the time of year where you get to be who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you have fun because it's all about community. You go out, you see the people, you dress up, you get candy and gifts, you meet your neighbors. It's the same thing. It's like the 3 holidays coming up. Halloween, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Shit, all 4 of them are important. They're all festivals. They're part of the human condition, no matter what. Everyone's celebrating. People all over, in one way or another, are celebrating Halloween because it is a seasonal holiday, just like freaking Christmas is and New Year's, because at the beginning of the year. It's out there, and Thanksgiving's our own. What happened?
You said you'd hired me to read some of your stories.
I actually had Corey Sir Toxalock read a story for me.
Yeah, I know. You were telling me that.
Yeah, at our first meetup back, my God, when was this now? 2020? 20, mm-hmm. Yeah. I in Vegas, I was there, or 2021, sorry. I was in Vegas when I met everybody for the first time, and I met Corey, and then I gave Corey one of my poems to read. He recorded it. It's on YouTube. And then, of course, but that's one poem, and I have over 600 pages of poems I'm going through right now. The actual number, because I always said that number, I figured I have 684 pages of poetry that I have written down, that I have now put on this computer, and that's still about 90% of my work. There is still stuff I still have in storage at a friend's house right now, and I'm still trying to find a place to go. But yeah, we should all do that. And yeah, and that's the thing. I'll hire whatever, because that's the whole idea. And I want to tout your stories too, because that's the thing now. I guess I didn't mean this to be a selling pitch, but the idea now is that no one's coming to save us. We knew this already. All the entertainment that we turn on TV, it sucks. We like what we're doing. I like what Eric's doing. I like what Vinny's doing. I like what everyone, all the stories out there. Who is it writing? Raven has stories out there. Content's being done. You have the funny videos or little memes that people do. This can be all weaponized to help us say, we don't need you. They're already feeling it. Hollywood's already feeling it. This year has been the worst year so far, and they're blaming all the strikes and all of the stuff that they didn't let us do. COVID still, no. It's because of your quality. It's the way you tell stories, the way that you want to dumb everything down. Enough of that shit. Mm-hmm. Halloween stories, like the one most underrated Halloween. The most underrated Halloween story for me, my perspective, it's actually pretty good, is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Season of
0
the Witch.
days to Halloween.
Yeah. Because again, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch was supposed to be an anthology, the first of an anthology. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be.
I went to see it at the theater back in
I did. Yeah. That's the one thing. That's the one thing I am very blessed about growing up in Laredo. Only that my father's mother was a manager of the theater, but they weren't talking. But he worked there, and his friend became the manager years after. So between 1974 and 1990, I watched every single movie that came out for free.
Well, good for you. Give that man a bucket of popcorn.
No, literally, it's like we would show up at the mall where the theater is, and if he was there, hey, can we watch a movie? Sure. We didn't even
Well,
pay.
if I'm not mistaken, Ruben, I'm pretty sure he was saying originally Halloween, the first one, was actually supposed to be the end of Michael Myers, because originally he wanted it to be an anthology, but the production studio wanted him to do a sequel, and they didn't want him to delve into anything else after the success of the first one, and that's why he did Michael Myers.
Yeah,
again.
and you know who's
Supposedly
behind that?
definitive
The same assholes that were behind Superman.
Mhm.
Ahmed, those guys, they were successful for saying their movies. With, like I said, they wanted to do 2 movies. They did the same thing with Superman. If you don't know, that Superman was supposed to be 2 movies from the beginning, and they got all fucked up because, again, they wanted cost cut, do this stuff. So yeah, they fucked up Halloween with that stuff, because again, it goes back to what we were talking about: corporate overlords fuck it all up. All the
Mhm.
stuff we would have. The perfect case of 2025, the company who's fucked up more than anybody else. Well, Jaguar's fucked up pretty too, but is Disney with Tron, a classic film that had a passable sequel. I like the sequel, and then
Mhm.
this third one. I'm not going to watch it. I saw Drinker's review and I went, Jesus Christ, they're getting dumb. Which goes to the aspect again of all quality of our, writing is terrible. So we should definitely start doing stuff. So that's my plan. My plan right now is I have a lot of things I'm writing, and it goes beyond anything here. You really don't know what I'm doing. If I said it, you're probably like, you probably go, what? But it's big. It's big enough that it could,
Ruben was a Batman 66 villain in another world.
No, it's not even villainy.
I wanted to add this in real quick, because you're kind of touching on corporate interference, and I think corporate interference is like, especially for Halloween time, because I don't know about you guys, like growing up, every single Halloween I would sit down in front of the TV and I would watch for free, mind you. Now it's hidden behind a paywall because of corporate interference. I would watch Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin every single Halloween. Now you can't do that anymore because of corporate interference, and it's hidden behind a paywall on Apple.
That's fucked up, dude. Yeah, but that's the thing. But that's the thing, Tommy. We allow this because we are too distracted, and that's the game. Keep you distracted. And they've done this the perfect example of 20th century bullshit. Fabian socialism. I know we're not going to talk take here, but the idea is that we've let them control everything and they've ruined everything. So let's take it back. That's all I'm going to say. But Halloween, again, like I said, I've always loved Halloween because, again, it's fantasy. It is the ultimate holiday where you can do whatever. All of the stories, the Lovecraft, Carpenter, what he did, who was the other one? Shit. The Reanimator, the weird ones, Clive Barker, all that stuff. They've done a lot of weird stuff. And I like that stuff because, again, they're being creative. They're making shit up, and it made you think about all this stuff. They were building worlds that were very, very intricate and all that stuff, complex.
And very different, Ruben, because you mentioned Clive Barker. One that usually people don't even talk about is the movie Nightbreed.
Yes.
Ooh, very, very creative. You've never seen that movie. The creativity on that one is actually off the charts.
Oh yeah, that was But again, that's the whole idea.
What is that one about? I don't think I've ever seen that one.
So it has to deal with a group of people that are almost subterranean in a way, and they almost look demonic in nature, but they're actually just like people who are different. Some of them are almost mutated and everything like this. And there's this one guy, he finds out that he's related to them. And it goes in it's a witch hunt thing where the people from the town is like a government agent or something. They're actually after him to destroy all these people, and they're just trying to find a way to get rid of them. And this guy is actually finding out that he's part of them, and initially rejecting it, and then finally accepting who he is and realizing that he's part of this, what's called the Nightbreed. So it's really interesting movie, though. It's kind of hard to explain in a small synopsis like that, but Yeah,
but
if
you're,
you've never
you're,
seen
you're
it,
right.
Jen, I would recommend it. You would probably like that one. It is.
Was
It
it-
is.
What's it? What's it
was
called
Winston
again?
Nightbreed? Was Winston the same?
Nightbreed.
Was
Okay,
the
I'm write down.
was the visual effects guy on that one? Do you know?
I wish I could remember. I don't.
Yeah, but the thing
recall.
is that Winston, again, if you show kids, this is sad. If you showed them today American Werewolf in London, they think it was CGI, and it's not. But it's all practical effects.
Yeah,
I
man.
know. We just recently did that one, and it is
But what's
really,
so
really
funny
well done.
is that cocksucker J.J. Abrams during the was it the fucking Force Awakens practical effects. He said practical effects, and it was all bullshit. Practical magic, who it was. Just kidding.
Well, the thing is, what scares me really is the fact that with this AI stuff, and everyone was talking about that AI actress that everybody's wanting so bad to make user in commercials and stuff like that.
He's out there
Okay.
now.
So what happens, in 10 years from now when nobody is wanting to write music or learn how to play an instrument or do any of these things anymore because AI is already doing it and they can do it,
They're already
so
doing that
cheap.
now, Janet. I said the whole
know.
idea, like,
But in 10 years from now, when nobody wants to be in band and nobody wants to be in this or that for football games or anything anymore, because why? Why would I want to take all that time to learn how to play the piano or the trumpet or any of these instruments when there's no future in it? When this is the future.
but there is future in it. That's the whole point.
How are they going to make a
Music,
living doing that?
my horn, playing my instrument, it's an acoustic instrument. You cannot reproduce by digital. It's the instrument, and it's me playing it. Because that's the other thing. When I play my instrument, I'm playing my instrument. I am doing it. It's my action. It's me playing, so I'm doing it. When I play piano, I'm playing the piano. When I'm doing my calculations and writing out my formulas, I'm doing it myself. I have pen and paper. I have books. I write my notes down. I write my notes down in my notebooks. I got lots of notebooks.
Well, that's one of the things too. If it's not, especially music, because that's one of the things where you're seeing a lot of the AI stuff really getting into, and there's something lost when you have a computer making music. There's no like real soul behind it. There's nothing that's actually going to touch you about the music. It's all very generic and bland. It's like a lot of the industrial music we've seen in the early 2000s where it was all just synthetic stuff and everything. A lot of it doesn't have
a friend that played a song for me. They asked me to be on a little group with 4 other people, and we listened to some songs. And I listened to one of them, and I started crying. Because it sounded like it was written just for me about having my mother for a little amount of time, and then her being no longer there, no longer available for me. And
so let me ask you,
and it was very moving. And
let me ask you, the person that did this one, was it all just strictly AI created, or was there input from the user? Because I know they have ones out there where they can actually do something like almost like
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, because they have ones where you can hum the tune,
in.
and the AI will create something to the sound of your humming and make it sound like that. So then there's still a creative aspect to it, as opposed to somebody just putting digital inputs in to create something.
Yeah. So, but what I'm worried about is that why would somebody go through all that work to learn how to do certain things when there is no future in it for them? Because you have to work, you have to do different things. Then it takes time to learn how to play the drums. It takes time to learn how to do all this, to keep your instruments, take care of them, and do things like that. When there's no reason for it, because in the future, it's cheaper to get on a computer and type in a few things than it is to actually spend hours and hours and hours every week learning how to play an instrument. You see, and buy the instrument, take care of the instrument, do all that work when all you can do is sit and type on a typewriter. You see what I mean? That's what I'm worried about. So I hope that kids will still want to do it, because you will get paid more money when you can sit down on the stage and play a live instrument. People will pay extra to see, just like you pay money to go to the zoo and see real animals at the zoo that you can see on TV.
So you wait, okay, now this is where I get this is where I get confused. So you do it for money?
What do you mean?
That's the thing. Is money the motivation?
Well, it is for some people. I mean, like parents that send their kids to college. Why would they send them to this college and not that one? Well, they're sending them to either one they got a scholarship in for their sport or whatever, or they're paying a lot of money to send them to a different one so they can become an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor or whatever else, as something that they feel that their child can make really good money or a good living at. They're not going to send them to school to learn how to make baskets.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Well, to me, it's from all the parents I talk to, that's why they.
Oh, then that's terrible advice.
So
that's why everything is very screwed up. Do what you love to do. Do what you have.
Yeah. I wish everyone could do what they wanted. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 4 years, and I'm not making any money yet. So. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that feeling. But there's another thing to being creative on your own. So, for some people, it's monetary, compensation for what they're doing. And I completely understand that. And other people, they do this stuff because it actually fills a void in their life. So creating music might be an outlet for somebody to be able to get something out that they normally couldn't express any other way. And when you start,
who's going to
start getting too much,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with the AI stuff, as in more to get into that, people are going to be like, "Well, why should I bother to that?" Or these people going to be able to put the same outlet into creating an AI song that they would if they learn how to play a song on their own and be able to release whatever inner turmoils they have or whatever else that they want to be able to pour out, into the music.
See, I have no problem with somebody using AI. Like, if I want to learn how to learn piano, teach me how to play the piano, teach me the fingerings, and be my guide. That AI is not a problem. Somebody like if AI, I'm going to play this for you. What I do wrong, and it'll analyze it. Oh, you play it differently, and then that's fine. That's a fine use, basically, because again, it's a research engine to me, and it is garbage in, garbage out. It's not accurate all the time. It's just like Google. So
I'm just worried that we're going to have a lot of things that we're not going to see anymore simply because there's no money in it. A person can't make a living. A person's always going to need. We're going to always need.
What are you afraid you're losing? What are you afraid we're losing?
I think we're going to lose the talent that people have and natural instinct in your body. Some people are meant to write. Some people,
but that's not. No, I disagree. It's going to actually. It's the opposite going to happen. You're going to have better talent going to pop out.
I hope so. Hope you're right.
Time will tell.
No, but the reason I say this is because with any advancement, but there's a caveat. With any advancement, the gap will increase.
Don't you pull that on me?
No, but it's true. But because again, those that know how to use like best way to describe it. Okay, 1950s. Okay, if you're a woman and you don't know how to use a typewriter, you're useless in the workforce. If you're in the 80s and 90s, you don't know how to use a computer, you're useless. It's a tool. It's a tool. Oh, I use a computer. Oh, we cannot equate, oh, I used AI to being like I'm cheating. You cannot you cannot do that. That's it's a tool. Now, if people use a tool wrong, then that's differently. Like if you basically take a ruler and start masturbating yourself, that's wrong. You're using it the wrong way. I just want to give you a visual.
Yeah, I know.
But you're doing it wrong. So use it correctly. Use the tool correctly.
Well, I think that's the big problem though, Ruben. There's a lot of people that use it, for their own self gratification, and they're not even applying themselves in any way. So I'm going to give you for a quick example. So Todd McFarlane and Spawn, that's kind of Halloweeny theme in a way, demonic guy that comes back from hell after making a deal with the devil. But Todd ran a promotion where he wanted somebody to draw Spawn, and he said he wanted real creators to draw Spawn, so he was going to use it as a cover of his comic. What happened? A whole bunch of people submitted a bunch of really good artwork to Todd McFarlane to be able to try to win this spot on the cover of a Spawn comic. Some guy just used AI, had AI create the Spawn, and he won. How is that? Just using that as a tool, that's 100%. I have no skills. I can just do it with AI. Screw everybody with their talent.
Well,
that's where we run into the danger of AI.
I know, but that's not danger. That's basically then you have to be better at it. It is a tool. He used it correctly. The way that AI works in doing images, it's prompt generation. So if you put all the parameters in the prompt, it will do what you say. So if you know how to prompt, then yes, you're using the tool correctly. So there is no problem there. Then that's the thing. So then you have to be better at drawing. That's the bottom line. You got to do better. You have another, how'd you say it? The guys that were doing posters for movies. Well, we can just do it on using the printing machine. We don't need to do it manually now. They lost their things. You have to adapt. It's a tool. Period.
Well, to do a Jen Psaki and circle back to what was kind of Katie that Janet was touching on. There's talent out there. They're in all respects, and we're not passing that on generationally, Janet.
It's only cheating if you don't know how to use it.
We're losing skills, and that's when you make the options where you just program in the prompts and whatnot. There's nothing to that. We're not sewing, we're not crocheting, we're not drawing, we're not doing much of anything anymore. We're not passing those skills on like we used to, generation to generation.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember, like with my grandpa, and he learned how to shoe horses from his uncle, right? And he taught my father how to shoe horses by taking him with him and putting it, do it. And I used to turn the little thing on the auger for him, and heat up the thing up for him and hand him nails and stuff like that. It was so cool to watch, because you have to know what you're doing to shave those hooves off and do all that stuff without damaging the horse. Or you can even save a horse's foot from being lame, simply because you know what you're doing and what you see when your people would bring in more horses to do their shoes. And little things like that is a dying art. I have friends right now that worked on the movie, the TV series Lonesome Dove, and they're doing stuff with Yellowstone and the 1807 and all those different shows, and they cook out there, but they live out there. This is what they do normally. They go out and they get hired, they cook and do all that stuff for the people that are getting the cattle and bring them in and all that kind of stuff. And that's what he does. I
think it's the pacing of society. Do you want to be driven by society, or do you want to kind of slow up, get your bearings, and then chart your own course?
Well, I already did that. That's why I moved to the Hillbillyville. I have to drive 48 miles to buy alcohol. I mean, because I went from New Orleans to where I could drive a block away and go to a drive-thru and get a daiquiri. And now I live in the boonies because I wanted to get away from crime, for the number one thing, but also because it's I don't know, it's just a less stress, I guess. But you have to mow, and you have to do a lot more to take care
Yeah,
of things because you have
depending.
more property and all the different things. But
Mhm.
I feel safer. I feel like I'm not going to have a drive-by shooting. I got a lot of things that are different. And and I like there's family here too. That's another reason. But a lot of people don't have that option to do those things. And that's what's sad to me is the
I don't
fact that
think a
we're
lot of
losing
people have
out
that
on.
concept. You and I have that, but I don't think a lot of people have that concept of slow down, take your breath. They're being driven by society. You've got to do this, you got to do that, you got to fast food, this,
Oh,
that.
but look at what you can do today. You just get on your phone, boom, order food,
Hmm.
get a
Oh
car.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
need a tuxedo for this gala.
I
Everything's on
I
the
personally
on
hate
that.
that too, Janet. I hate
Mhm.
the disassociation with being able to do anything on your own. It's part of the reason
Mhm.
why I hate the AI stuff too. It's a crutch for people who can't do it, with their own talent, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, that's a whole different story.
The
But
thing is, it is the
a
future.
lot of these brick and mortar stores that we all used to love going out to all the time, like people don't want to get up and do anything on their own. Like everybody just wants to sit in the
Oh
house and they
yeah.
want to have everything handed to them. And I miss
Mhm.
those days when you can go out and even something as simple as like, hey, I'm searching for this record in the store, and you go out to like 5 different stores
Yeah,
to
yeah,
try to
yeah.
find this one record. I miss stuff like that, and you
Mhm.
just don't see that stuff anymore as more and more things are
Jesus,
being digitalized and more things are being
it was
streamlined
worse
with
for
a lot
me.
of
God damn
delivery
it.
services.
I literally had to go from Laredo out to San Antonio or Austin to get music. CDs. I had to drive
Was it one of those
300
shops too? It was
300
like
miles.
this and that, like everything type shop.
300 miles. Well, no, I went to
Yeah,
Tower
it's a
Records at
little
the time
pawn shop
and Rose Records in here in
Okay.
Chicago growing up.
What did you
in
have
Las
any like
Vegas.
record stores that
If
did
you
it like
guys
that, where they had
ever
like a
get to go
ton
to
of old
Vegas,
records and discs and everything?
yeah, if you ever get to go to Vegas, go to pawn shops. You will find everything. I
Mhm.
mean, people's jewelry, clothes, hats, shoes, guitars,
Porn stars
everything,
and porn
rings.
stars.
Yeah, everything. You can get anything you want at a
Porn.
pawn shop because
Hookers. They have
people
hookers
are
for
willing
rent
to sell
for
whatever they have
layaway. Kidding.
to be able to gamble one more time because this next time I'm gonna make it. That's their attitude. And the thing is, you can get really good prices on things. And I have friends that would go there with a big truck
Alligator.
and buy a bunch of stuff, put it in their truck, take it back, and they'd sell it in their own stores in Arkansas or Oklahoma because they could get it really cheap and get stuff that other people would never really even think about. And they put it in their little, their little trinket, stores or whatever, but have some
Well,
really cool stuff.
I mean,
But
for
you know
So,
who?
creative people that can think out of the box, it should be a no-brainer now. You got the baby boomers retiring at more than 10,000 a year, and so new job opportunities are opening up all the time, and the workforce is going to be thinned because we simply don't have the workforce that we had during those baby boom years. Now we saw sort of a return to the workforce by people there for a little while, nurses coming out, retiring, coming back, because there was a need for there. And it's like, yeah, I'm not ready for retirement, and I'm not really certain about the future. Now it's kind of
Retirement?
stabilized a little bit.
You're not retired yet? I'm just kidding.
I'm not retired. I'll retire when they put me in the ground.
I've been retired for almost a year.
Well, you need
But
to get
see,
off your duff and do something then,
I
Ruben.
like going from one place to another, like going to cons, Comic Cons. Because
Yeah.
like I got to meet William Shatner. I talk about it a lot, but I always wanted to meet him ever since I was a little girl. And the
Those are
first time
coming
I got
back
to
in a
watch,
big time, the
uh,
big way after COVID,
I got to
because it kind
watch.
of killed it during COVID.
Well, yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of these things took a hit, and until
Mhm.
people started going back, just like I said,
Right.
they lost money. But the thing is that if we all quit doing it because it's easier, it's easier to just to push a few buttons or whatever. I like cooking. I don't like cleaning the kitchen. If someone
Right.
else would wash the dishes, that would be really good. But I have to do both. But the thing is that each of us have to do something to save what we believe is we're losing. And if none of us talk about it or do anything about it, then nothing's going to change. Things are just going to go to the wayside, and It's going to be gone. You're going to wake up one day and say, hey, I'd like to go do this. And you go and, oh, they don't do that anymore. I'm like, what? It's gone. So, it's going to be, well, thank you very much. Yeah. This is my costume because I saw the wig in Vegas and I thought, I think I want to get that wig, even though I don't need it. I got 100 wigs. Is that
like the Elvira thing going on?
Yeah.
There? Yeah.
I didn't have a bat. I didn't have a bat necklace, but I had this biker chick one because I've done a biker chick quite a few times.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
technically, couldn't that dress double as a Morticia Addams?
Yeah, I wore it as Morticia when we did Addams Family.
Vampira.
Yeah, I can wear it. Yeah. A witch, or a vampire from any movie or whatever. So yeah. Because I dressed up as Lucy last week for the Dracula movie that we did. Her wedding, her bride, death bride dress or whatever, because she died as a bride. But yeah, it was fun. But I love doing it. And one day, won't need to do it. I'll just push a few buttons and there'll be won't be me. It'll be someone else. But, they'll just be looking like whatever they want them to look like, because it'll get to be so good people won't know the difference. So
what do you think about what I said, Tommy?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, Ruben's in the back again, Janet.
Oh, there he is. He's waving his arm.
I was asking Tommy what did you think?
I knocked the cord from my camera.
What did you think about what I said, Tommy, about we're losing skills, and we're not passing that on from generation to generation?
I definitely agree with that. And as somebody who's a musician, somebody who's done a lot of other things, I could definitely see that disconnect. I mean, if you even look at some of the newer, what they pass off sometimes music nowadays, you could definitely see it in that. And even some of the writing that you're seeing for a lot of these shows, you could tell a lot of those skills have been lost over time because it's not being passed down, and they're relying on everything else that's already there to be able to make their jobs easier instead of being able to try to learn their craft. Like back in the day, if somebody was going to be able to, they were going to work on a movie, for example, maybe they would do research on the characters that they were going to have in that movie. Can you imagine that? The hypocrisy of these people. Let's research the characters before we make the movie. Now you don't see that anymore. They just get like a brief synopsis off the internet of what those characters are supposed to be, and usually 9 times out of 10, it's wrong. And those type of skills being passed down to be able to, even whether it's like doing movie and doing the research and being able to look into all these characters themselves, being a musician, learning how to progressively write chords, or being able to put your own influence into the music of how you want to hear it, or even if it's writing and drawing comic books, be able to put a certain style in there. All these things are being lost over time, and that's one of the big.
And jobs replaced
fears. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at fast food restaurants. There's a lot of fast food restaurants now where your order taker, and some of them no longer exist. You're punching everything
Tommy,
into
what's even more egregious is when they basically say to go to pay and it says tip 25. What the fuck? I'm not gonna give you a tip. Right. There was nobody here.
Yeah, I got a can of 401 oil. That'll be the tip.
Well, like Ryan James, who's out in the chat.
This is the kind of thing that we're going to miss. This was made for me out of cardboard and foam, and they made it by hand, and they painted it. They put magnets on it so I can roll my dice in it. It's a dice tower that someone made me and mailed to me, a fan. This is the kind of stuff we're not going to have anymore.
Unless they mass produce it.
No, but that's not the same thing. This is made by hand. This is an original piece of art.
Right. But I mean, you make a mold of the original, and then you can have as many as you want.
To assume art's going to go away is ludicrous. It's not going away.
No,
I'm not saying art. I'm saying,
but like I said, it's going to go like
this.
The fact
that somebody took their hands and they made.
I know, but it's going to go this way. I told you already. The skill, the people who are skilled by hand the quality will increase. The number will decrease, but the number of people who can't do shit will increase. It's idiocracy, but it's an idiocracy on art form.
And this this is leather. And somebody made this for me. It's a dice to put my dice in. my DD dice,
Yeah.
but they made this for
Well,
me.
Janet, you said it
themselves with their own
yourself. You
hands.
know, there's something inherently God has put in every one of us, creativity. That's not going to go away. Now, how we use that may differ.
Maybe, but I hope it doesn't go away. At least I hope I'm
I
not
don't
alive
think it's going to go
anymore
away. I don't know where
when
these
it
fears are
happens.
coming from, but
Yeah.
you know,
I just love that. I encourage people and I talk about it. I crochet, I sew, I do all the things that I was a tomboy too in my family. I
mhm.
wanted to work in the yard and do stuff with my dad, go fishing, go squirrel hunting, do all that
Janet,
crap.
you gotta say it, Janet. You gotta say it.
And
You
as
were
I
a
got
tomboy.
older,
What's the next thing you do? What do you do
What?
every November?
I don't know. Have
You work the
Thanksgiving?
bowls. There you go.
Oh yeah, work the poles. That's right.
Yeah.
But the thing
Drink,
is
everybody drink.
But that,
I watched my mom crochet and knit and sew and make costumes and do tons of things growing up. And my sisters, as I got older, I was like, my sisters weren't that interested in learning to crochet, or one learned how to knit and another one learned to, but they don't really do that much stuff with it. But I just started thinking, well, my mother's gone, because after her mother died, she took it really hard. And after that's when I decided I want my mom to teach me how to crochet. I want my mom to teach me how to sew. I wanted my mother to teach me those things because I knew one day I'm going to teach that to my daughters, and I have.
mhm.
So the
Well,
thing
I mean,
is
is it
that
all I'm
because it
saying
was
is
important to me.
I'm hearing two things from you, Janet.
Mhm.
I want to go more mainstream and get some of these things out to a broader base, but at the same time, you like the individual thing. Don't mass produce it so that more people will see it. I just like that this was only made for me. Okay,
No,
that's
that's not what I said. What I
okay.
mean is that a person took time out of their life to use their own hands to make something as a gift for someone else. I do that all the time. I make stuff and give it to people.
And that's never going to go away.
But I hope that never goes away. That's
It's
what I'm
not
talking
going
about.
away. It
A
cannot go away.
person wanting to do something for someone else
Yeah.
with something a skill they have. That's it. Like my sister, she did my eye makeup and stuff for me. And I went to her house and sat there for hours. And I've
Yeah,
had this on
like
till
all
2
those guys
o'clock in
that
the
made buggy
afternoon
whips still don't make
because
buggy
she
whips.
could do it. And that's a
Right.
skill that I don't have. I'm learning, but I don't think I'll ever be as good as she is because that's what she does. She got paid to do that for years and years and years.
Right.
And she's still doing it. So
Well, I mean,
what I'm
back
saying is
in
I don't want to lose those things.
Back in the early 80s, I went into a store in Belt Buckle, Tennessee, which is 35 miles below Nashville, in the middle of nowhere. The school was, I was just going to summer school. It was a high school,
Mhm.
but very creative school, one of the oldest schools and one of the top 10 high schools in America. In fact, a very famous actor came out of there that was on MASH. Anyway, they're in their little town of 400 and something people, if memory serves me right. They had a place that only sewed hats like this, that sewed on like ram's horns, antenna, different things like that. The woman's mother ran the store. The woman that first came up with the concept of adding that to hats, to make them crazy for like games and things like that, ball games and things, was a millionaire back then, so you can, it depends on what you're wanting to do. There's very low, you're right. It does take money, but to get a prototype that's the whole thing about Shark Tank, right? Invest in my idea, and they do.
Yeah, I buy stuff that's mass produced and I play with it. So I have it all over my office.
Right.
I have no problem with that, but I don't want to lose the individual's wondrous whatever it is, and if they don't have anything to make them want to try something because they see someone do something, painting, building Legos, whatever it is. I want to make sure people still do that instead of doing this all day.
Well, I think, Janet, I
You
mean,
see what
you're
I'm
kind of
saying?
hitting on
Mhm.
the fear of people being able to do their own thing. Because I remember, if everybody remembers, at one time you had a lot of people that would take their shoes to a cobbler and have their shoes fixed up. Now you don't
Yes.
see that anymore because of the way the mass market, production is with shoes. I mean, they're so cheap, you just throw them away. You don't really buy a high quality shoe that you're going to have repair. And not to say that there ain't people that still do cobbler work, but they're very limited in number, and they're getting harder and harder to find as the years
Right.
go on. And
Mhm.
what you're saying is, a lot of you got to be worried about a lot of this mass produced stuff and those type of things, because you lose a little bit of that personal touch that you'd be able to get with some of this stuff, and you're
Mhm.
losing a little bit of the skill too. Because hey, why should I get into doing this stuff since it's such a niche market? I'd rather just get into something that's more mass producible. And that is something that has definitely been lost on younger generations. And this
And
all kind of
lucrative.
circle backs to skills being lost as well, because these skills
Mhm.
aren't being passed on.
Mhm. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, people are gonna go the lucrative route, if it's more lucrative. I mean, there's very few, 1 out of 9, 1 out of 10 or less, that will do something simply because that's what they feel called to do, and
Well, that's
take a
like
pay cut.
you making your comic book, right?
Mhm.
When you get it printed out, your comic book is going to be a copy and another copy, and they put numbers on it or whatever, which is,
Mhm.
I understand because I collect comics.
Right.
And the number one is always going to be worth more than the number 500. I mean, that I understand that concept. And I still
Well,
want that.
okay. It depends
But
on what's in it,
the
Janet.
difference is when you hand draw everything yourself before you even produce the comic book, right?
Mhm.
Now,
Right.
all of those individual pictures and stuff that you made are now collectible. Okay, for people like me and you that like to
Mhm.
collect other people's work, because we get enjoyment out of, just like I just said, I get enjoyment of just holding my stuff, playing with my stuff because I enjoy it. Now, other people, my sisters look at it and go, oh, they think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous, but I don't. That's okay. They rather do something else. They can do
Yeah.
that, and I don't have a problem with that. It's as long as there's still that skill there. The fact that you can sit down and put a pencil to paper and make that. Okay, just like
Right.
me sitting and crocheting something out of nothing with no pattern, it's a skill that of something that we love doing. Okay,
Yeah. And
and what I'm
something you
worried
can take
about,
pride in refining over time.
yeah, and giving it as a gift or whatever it is I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's what I'm worried about is the kids that I see now in the shopping cart playing with this.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
Okay,
that
that's all I'm
basically,
saying. I'm not saying
yeah.
it's going to ruin the world. I'm just saying it's sad to me because that is the future, and
Well,
it is the
hopefully
future.
we're finding out family is ultimately important, you
Mhm,
know, because that's where you learn at the knee within the living room in front of the
mhm.
fire, right?
Yeah.
That's the best school, not public school, not private school, homeschoolers in the 90 percentile. At one time,
Yeah.
all schools in America were homeschools. Imagine
Oh,
that
yeah.
before we
That's
built
why
universities.
when we used to watch Little House of the Prairie reruns on TV,
Well,
that's what they did. That's what how they went
but
to
then you
school.
have to remember that's how it used to be, where you were taught by your parents or your family members. That was
Mhm,
the whole idea. You had a family, and the modern Fabian, they changed everything. They wanted to take the women out of the house, do that stuff. But the idea
mhm,
that it was the schoolhouse, the school with the church that did that, the community did that. It was all to help the community, not a commune, not communist. That's where they got. Then that's where they wanted to radically do things.
mhm,
But it's horrifying what they did. But
mhm.
Halloween means a lot to me. It's a fantasy time, a good time.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I was wondering why we were talking about everything but Halloween, but maybe I came in
we were
after the
talking
Halloween
about
season.
where Halloween came from, and we did all that, and I
Mm,
shared all that. And then we talked about Halloween movies, the scariest movies, and was a list of the top 7 from IMDb,
yeah.
listing by what people voted on. basically. I
Yeah.
could have done
Well,
right.
you know what? I do feel that they got one thing wrong on that list. I think the original 1978 Halloween should have been a little bit higher on that list just for one simple reason. Much like Alfred Hitchcock kind of changed the way some people looked at horror. He was one of those defining guys that actually created something different and say, hey, you can have a suspense horror that is really good where it doesn't have to be gory and everything like that. The 1978 Halloween issued in the pretty much the rage of the slasher film. Because based off of what he did, what John Carpenter did with Halloween, that's where you wind up getting Jason Voorhees with Friday the 13th. Off the backs of that, you get Freddy Krueger. You get all these other characters were created off of what he did with Halloween. And that actually, some of the scenes in that movie were actually supposed to be much worse. There was actually supposed to be a scene with the dog that was yapping at Michael Myers. And they had Carpenter cut it out, but he was going to have it where Michael Myers hung that dog up by a tree in the movie. Kind of glad they cut that out. It would have been horrible, but yeah.
Well,
I think him is ushering in the slasher genre of all these different films. Probably should have ranked him just slightly higher than that. Just my thoughts.
Two movies that I had nightmares after watching was Pet Sematary. After seeing the little boy get run over, it was I had a really hard time dealing with that. And then the other one was now I forgot again. Damn it!
So here's
I
one
just-
for you
I
all.
think
Here's one
Stan's in
for you all. 'Cause I have one. I have one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best scene in a horror film that you enjoy watching?
Well, there's one scene, and I've seen it like 70 times, that I can watch over and over, and I still think it's just as almost as exciting as it was the very first time I watched it. Was the transformation of the werewolf in American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
I still
You
think
just
it was
have to
Precursor-
hear around
the
screaming
precursor
naked
to that
with the
one.
throat out. Come on.
Yeah, the precursor to that one, there was a film that was done, I think it was in the 30s, where the reveal is this lady becomes a witch and she does it on screen. The way they did that is that it was black and white. And they made her.
You're talking the octopus or whatever.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
paint,
from
they
the
painted her
30s.
face a certain way, so that when
What?
you
Oh,
no,
if
you
you've never seen the transformation of that,
it's like
genius.
and it's
in the
all
movie?
done on camera, but
yeah,
all
and
she does
practical.
and
Yeah.
practical. She just turns her head a little bit, and they do some trickery real fast, and it just like
Mhm.
she turns into a monster. But the makeup was already there. They just hit it
Yeah.
because of the coloring of. Again,
Cool.
but this is what I mean. If you have a tool, they utilize it to the maximum. The same thing they did in 62 with Mary Poppins. They used, it was no blue filter, it was no green filter, it was a yellow sodium filter that had it was like the technology is far more superior than what we have now, but they're not using it because it requires a mechanism that has a prism with light, but it does beautifully. That's why we can look at Mary Poppins and the scene when they go into the cartoon world and the Chucky and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We can marvel at how beautiful that is,
Or
and
step
then
on clouds.
yeah. And have it that you don't see like how it is on we do we have blue screening. We have the fucking biggest cameras in the world, and then we still have the things in the back. Oh, you see the thing in the back. They didn't have it there because again they did the right way. But what about you, Tommy and Devil, regarding horror film scenes you were like?
Well,
I kinda
there's
like the-
one scene. I was going to say there's one scene that actually stands out to me. I don't know if it's my favorite scene, but it's one of those scenes that I always found creepy. So the original Amityville Horrors, one scene where the demon eyes pop up in the window when the girl
Oh
is walking by.
yeah, I remember
That always creeped me out
Whoa,
as a kid. And even today, looking at that, it's a little bit creepy to look at.
And it's so
And,
simple. It's so simple.
God, what was that vampire movie where it was the town with the vampires and they just recently did a reboot of it on HBO. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of it, but there's a
Lost
there's a
Boys?
scene. No, it's what Lost Boys was kind of technically based off of. So it's the little kid, he got turned and he's scratching at the window. There's like scenes that they use in Lost Boys where the little kid is scratching at the window
Is
of his
this
brother
Salem's
trying to
Lot?
get in.
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot. Thank you.
Salem's Lot. Okay.
Salem's Lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's like realistic horror. You know, could it happen to you type thing. You know,
Mhm.
and probably body horror is the worst.
Right.
I just know
Right.
the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it's implied and not shown, is much more effective than like seeing the penetration of the 80s slasher movies.
Yeah.
Have you
You
guys
know,
seen that new
because
movie?
your
with,
imagination can fill in the
Yeah,
blanks
yeah.
a lot
And
better
that's
than any
the
Gary
director.
Moore,
thing.
Demi Moore.
The Substance?
Yeah, have you guys seen that?
No, but
Oh
I know
my
it. I know it's bad. But
No, it's really good.
but for
It's really
me,
scary.
so to like I said, I'd mentioned it before. The Neon Demon is one.
Mhm.
Watch that movie for it has a scene. It's very, very, weird. But the movie that for me, and it tells you a lot about my style, how I again, imagination. Like,
Mhm.
people hated the Blair Witch Project for some reason. I loved it because again, imagination. I like to imagine everything they show you. I'm thinking in my head of something else. I'm projecting something else happening. So the
Mhm.
movie that I like, the scene that's very, and it's not a horror. It's a horror film. It's a horrifying. It's scary scene in my opinion. But again, that's me. It's subjective. It's actually the hospital scene from The Exorcist 3. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys know that one.
I'm trying to remember what was exactly going on in that scene. So except I remember.
Nothing. Basically, it's just the hallway, and the lady's moving around, and it stays there for a very, very long time until the attack happens. And the attack happens, but you don't see anything.
Yeah,
You
But
just
that
hear it.
is
implied. Your
no,
mind
you,
is filled in the gaps.
but you,
You know what happened.
well, you watch it. If you go look, if you go out there and look it up, people, Exorcist 3 hospital scene. It's about 3-4 minutes. It's long, and no one's talking in it. Well, there is a few sounds,
But you
but
got a music score.
Music's not playing either.
It's not.
It's
It's just
silent.
silence.
But
Yeah,
that's the
well,
whole thing.
I would argue that some of the scariest horror movies are silent movies because you're sitting there in the dark, and if it doesn't have a musical score, and there is
Yes,
a way to
there you
build suspense
Lingering
without
shots,
music or without
Mhm.
a soundtrack.
Yeah, because again, I read with Exorcist 3 going back there, the guy who did number 1 did number 3, but then they fucked it up. They got interfered with it. So the book is better than the movie, but I do like the movie because I actually own the original cut, the director's cut that would have been that has stuff in it, but it's a good movie to have. Oh yeah, Event Horizon, another one. That's another one. That's a horror.
Yeah, that was really scary.
But then with
I
Event
never
Horizon,
know why people like that movie. I was unimpressed
Well,
with that movie. I'm in the minority. I know.
But they fucked up because they had good sets, but at the very end they ran out of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can carry a bad movie with a great concept.
True.
I would say The Mist is one of those. It's got not a totally an original concept, but it has a good concept, as a basis.
Yeah, and it's a very like,
but it's poorly
depressing
executed.
Ending. Do you think it's poorly executed?
I think it's a fatalistic, anti-Christian movie. When you think
that is true. That is very
when you
true.
look at the characterization of how this church lady in the grocery store just turns, and then people that was on his side, on Thomas side, goes over to her side, and so it feels rushed. It's the
and she lives in the
they
end.
should have worked on characterization.
And then
there's nothing worse than watching a whole season of something or a whole thing, and you don't care about the characters because they're not well written. Now, I understand the book is always different than the movie, but the movie I thought was fatalistic and anti-Christian as it's I think Fury. Fury, the war movie, is an anti-American movie. And a lot of people like Fury, but there's no way an SS person is going to let another American, the enemy, go free to tell that story. And then all the American soldiers were looked at as cursing, brutish, the aggressor. in the
So
movie. If you
I never,
take
I
a-
never,
if
I
you
never
take a
saw it.
microscope to it.
I never saw it, but again, I hear a lot about what's the
Hey,
other one,
RJ.
that Band of Brothers. If it's any good or not, I do not know. Have not seen it either. A lot of shows I haven't seen. I don't have time for crap. But that's the thing. I want to know if it's any good. But that's that's for me, that type of Halloween horror where it is delayed, quiet, like the
Mhm.
one, there was one movie recently that came out that got a lot of controversial, I think it was Skinamarink. Have you heard of that one, Skinamarink?
Mm-mm.
It was experimental
Mm-mm.
film. It came out a couple of years ago. Very
No, but
experimental.
Squid Games was pretty good.
That I did not see.
I liked it a lot.
And you know what? And here's the other reason why I don't want to watch it. If everybody's watching it, I'm out. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I didn't know if
I
everybody
really
was
don't
watching
know.
it. I just
Because again,
happened
for
to
me,
watch it. And I thought
for
it was
me,
good.
pop
Oh,
culture
you
this
never
day
seen Star
is all,
Wars? Got it.
it's all about garbage.
Yeah, and I also loved Fault. What was it? Something about
Vault of
the
the Stars?
no, it was Walton Goggins stars in it. He's a ghoul.
Oh, Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah, I really loved it so
Yeah,
far
I didn't
too.
watch that crap either.
I really loved it.
How do you know about this, Ruben? Well, because I watch all these shows that tell me that's all shit.
Here's one that I just watched recently, the director's
You guys
cut.
help me out.
And it's more in the fantasy realm, but you could say horror too. Legend,
So,
Yeah, I
Legend.
love
yeah.
Legend.
where they
I never saw
they
it, but I
build
know
the
about it.
suspense and don't show
I thought
you
it
the
was kinda
monster
gay.
to the very end, and then you have this very grandiose, whoa,
Mhm.
looking. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it was
reveal.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tim Curry was excellent in that movie.
he was.
but
I can't.
the
He's
most
unrecognizable.
And
underrated
you almost
sci-
forget. You almost forget that that's Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah. Well, he
Yep.
was gay. So, he is. No, what's so funny is the one sci-fi film of that realm, because we're in this realm now. that
Oh, he's got to get through his
I
list,
miss. You know what I miss, right? Crawl.
Crow. Yeah,
Kroll?
was-
Yeah,
Kroll
we did
was-
Kroll's
Kroll.
great.
We did the movie.
yeah.
I know, but again, these movies were done. They had special effects. But they used practical effects. The she opens it up. The planes
Yeah.
come up. I love that shit. And again, the flying horses.
I can't remember the name of it, but we did one. It was about the guy that plays a video game and he hits this reward number or whatever, and they send him there. The Last Starfighter.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
was
a
a
great one.
really,
Yeah.
really good, fun movie
Mhm.
that Bruce and I
you
reviewed.
could
And
cut it
I
as
also-
a horror film.
well, it was just really good.
I know,
but
I
you
know,
know,
just
it was really good. It was fun. It had fun characters. It was the concept
no, it was
of
bad.
playing video games to recruit new starfighters. I just thought that was
Kind
just
of like Tron,
ingenious.
where you're in the system.
Well,
You
I've
know,
never
the-
seen
which
Tron.
is-
I haven't
which is
seen
like
any of the Tron movies.
You gotta see the
Matrix, you
original
know.
at least.
the original
I've never
Tron.
seen
Go
it.
ahead and see it. Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't seen them at
Yeah,
all.
because
Yeah.
again, there is an Easter egg of Pac-Man in it.
What? For real?
Yes, in Tron.
I want to go see that one with Toxic Avenger or something.
Yeah.
I saw the little trailer for it, and I thought, wow, this looks really good. I've never read the
Don't never
comic or
watch the
anything.
Dinklage. Never watch the Dinklage. He's horrible.
Well,
the
the
original
movie
movies
looked
were pretty
good.
horrible. They were done by Trauma, but they were still that horrible fun at the time.
Yeah.
I am not
Toxic
even
Avenger?
vaguely interested. Yeah, I'm not even vaguely
This
interested
new
in the
one,
remake
I
of it.
don't know about it. It just seems they seem, how'd you say, overly gory and overly just stupid in a way. Not done in a good way. Well, not that I love RoboCop. Shoot him in the dick.
But you
Oh,
talk
and then
about like
Marvel-
overly gory with a lot of movies, Ruben. I would say one of the newer franchises that made a lot of steam, and I personally don't really care for him that much, is the Terrifier series of movies.
I've never
It's
seen it.
just-
I haven't
it's
seen
just
them.
like it's a little bit overly gory, like ridiculous. Like it's
Nah, I
it's
don't-
done to
What
the
about-
maximum.
what
Well, it's
about-
supposed to be it's supposed to be funny, right? It's supposed to be a comedy.
What about Saw? I've not seen any of those. What about
What
Saw?
Saw?
Mhm.
I don't know about
I love Saw. I've seen 3 of them, and
Mhm.
when we went to Vegas, I know it was a bunch of relatives there, and we went to the Saw, uh, where you have to, escape room. You have to escape from it, and it's one after the other, and it's all like movie quality sets and stuff in there. It was so scary, and we had 12 seconds left that we finally got out of the escape room. So
Yeah.
it was definitely worth it.
Pizza.
Oh,
Why is cold pizza so good?
see, I got this while I was there. A couple other little trinkets or whatever, but yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And then we also did It while we were there, the escape room for It.
Oh,
That was fun. So I love that kind of stuff. We have to work as a team and find the answers to be able to get through it, and that's fun.
I actually liked it. The new movies. I actually liked them.
Well, it was more monster, I guess you could call old horror, like Universal horror monsters and things.
Yeah,
that actually got me into comics. And because kids, like some kids, I was one, like monsters, and I was exposed to a lot of that stuff.
What was your favorite comic book as a kid?
Avengers. I mean, once I started collecting, but I started out with the horror books, like Vampire book was my first Marvel anything, and then A Werewolf by Night was my first comic.
Was it Morbius?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Morbius,
well, I mean,
it
had movie reviews in it with Vincent Price. It had multiple stories, but it was thematic. It was Vampire Tales #5, and which I have here, by the way. It was a Darkman. Nobody's mentioned Darkman. But it was all had to do with vampires. And not just one story, but Morbius was in that. It was a reprint from his
my favorite
second appearance
collection is called The Midnight Suns. It's my favorite 6 comic book collection. I have a whole set that's never been opened.
Yeah.
And then I have one that I read multiple times, took the posters out, hung them up, did all that stuff because I just loved it. It's one of my favorite series. And I'm thankful that nobody's made it yet because I don't want them to ruin it. So far, I'm not real happy with some of the things they've done.
I guess.
And I remember how mad I was when I first saw the very first Wolverine movie. I was so excited they were going to make it. But then when I went and I saw the first trailer, I was like, what the? Wolverine's short, stocky guy. He's not tall and good looking. So I was kind of mad about it. But I was impressed with Hugh Jackman because he seemed like he loved the character and that he really tried to be Wolverine. So he won me over after watching him in the movie. And I watched it a couple times and I really liked him. I thought he did a really good job. But I'm not, I try to be fair, when they.
But what did he do, Janet? You said it. What did he do?
Who?
Hugh Jackman, you just said, basically understood he's an actor.
Like, he did little things like he said, bub. Just little things like that make a difference to me from the comic books.
But he respected the source material. And he told people, like Cavill did with The Witcher.
Yeah.
Until that's racist. My God, what the hell?
Yeah. So I don't know. To me,
everything is racist.
I benefit the doubt, and it worked out pretty good.
Well, to me, as a kid,
over 2.5 hours. So, would each of you like to plug your channels and talk about what you got coming up?
Sure. Let me send you my link to my thing too.
Who wants to go first?
I'll send you my link.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. This is my Substack. I'm sending it to you right now. You got that. Hopefully, you can put it out there for everyone to read.
Okay, copy it.
Actually, I hate when it does that. I have all my stories out there. Halloween story, a short story I wrote. They're all out there. Everything's out there, so you can see it there. So yeah, look it out there. That's all basically. Yeah, and basically I've been spending the last whole month rebuilding. Well, I have two computers right here in front of me. I have one. This is the one I'm on. It's my older computer, but I built it, and the other laptop too. But they're both Igentic laptops. I mean, they have AI built inside them. I built these computers, and the operating systems are my own creation. I'm doing it, so I'm building everything that way. And what I'm doing over the next 5 years is I'm releasing at least 100 books, multiple encyclopedias on various topics, but the main topics from lowest to highest is governmental policy, fantasy literature, gothic horror. That's all attributed. They're all connected. Then it's going to be mathematics, and then astrophysics, because I have 7 new theories and discoveries that are coming out in the next 5 years regarding the nature of the universe, time, everything. I've cracked 50 years of research. I figured out for a few things, and it's very interesting news. So I know everything regarding that. The Big Bang is not the Big Bang. It's and time is not what you think it is. Light's not what you think it is. It's totally different, and it's lovely. It's beautiful, and the mathematics are there. I've been working the calculations for the last 5 years now, and the type of time now to get this done. So more things are coming, so you'll see all that stuff.
Can you get me the lottery numbers?
Yeah, we can all pitch in and buy a ticket.
That's right. That's right. We could buy an institute with our winners.
Well, theoretically, you can do that because you could. Well, there is time travel is possible, but it's done very difficult.
I don't want theoretical. I want to show me the money.
I know.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
But again, you're traveling through time right now. That's the whole point. But it's actually you're not traveling through time. You're traveling through gravity. That's what you have to remember.
Yeah. So, Tommy, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. What am I doing?
Tell everybody what's coming up on your channel. Or whatever.
I'm not thinking what is that? Omer glitch?
Guys, in case you can't read, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. Yeah, so what I do mostly on my channel is I have the guinea pigs. I do have a guinea pig collective. Right now we got 5 guys. We used to have 7. We lost a few, unfortunately. But guinea pigs actually take part in a lot of stuff I do, whether it's just looking at the guinea pigs, or of course the biggest thing that I do on my channel is toy reviews. We do a lot of toy reviews. We have a Thursday show every week at 8:30 p.m. called Collectible Past, our toy show, where I get to go with a really great host of panelists and friends, and we talk about some of the things that we just recently picked up or some of the older stuff that we have in our collections, and we just want to show off and share with everybody. And especially if it's a newer thing, to give a nice, honest, and unbiased review, something that, if there's something wrong with it, we're not simping for these companies. We're going to give you 100% facts so you can make that determination whether you want to get it or not. So yeah, if you want to stop by and check that out, we really do appreciate it. We're making a little bit of momentum with that show. Always a fun show. We just had our 4-year celebration yesterday. Nice. 4 years celebration for that particular show. I mean, I've been doing this for over 6 years on YouTube. It's coming close to 7 years, and finally, I have one show that's actually stuck around with a really good longevity. And like I said, it's because I have an awesome host of freaking panelistic co-hosts that are working with me. But
I never hear your voice. I always hear theirs.
Guys, thank you for joining us. And you could have spent your time anywhere, choose to spend it here with us. That is greatly appreciated. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not think, because your silence and your compliance gives consent. Pig out.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
Devil,
on my
Irish
channel, you
Christian.
can
A voice for radio.
we talk all things collectible, kind of pop culture subjects, kind of variety show. But we kind of center that around the niche. You could some say niche comics book industry, but that's not all we cover. Of course, I am crowdfunding over on Fund My Comic right now. Devil Flyer. We've a couple years ago we came out with the Ash Can, and I actually bought this copy off eBay, which made me very happy. Yes, I bought my own book because I know how limited it is. Only 100 made. Hell yeah, I was willing to pay the price to get it back. You bet. Every backer gets I'm working on sketch cards right now for everybody that's made up. Each individual characters, everybody gets an original. So you're getting 2 originals already, plus all the stretch goals. And we're coming up on, I know we're going to shatter this where we get a new sticker and 4 more pages added to the book.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the, I'm putting it right now in the chat.
Yeah. And that's digital tier. Anything, what you want to do is get that charter member card, because that's free stuff from now on in the mail. And I always check your address to make sure it's the correct address before I send the stuff off to you. You know, I want to do decoder rings, all kinds of fun patches, different things like that. But for the very first one, I thought, what can I do? So I got some sketch cards made up from Momentum Concepts, Momentum Comics, and I'm currently drawing those now. A variety of media, like I said, different character for every person, different scene. And you also get a head sketch for backing, which is original artwork that you can frame. Sometimes in
Devil Flyer,
I
got to ask you. You did say decoder ring. You're not going to give some worthless prize on the decoder ring, like drink more Ovaltine, are you?
It'll be more like Captain Crunch. You know, eat your freaky cereal. Yeah. Gone are the days where you go in and you get like free samples from businesses. That's pretty sad, but I can remember those. And I love the pens that you used to tip and used to have liquid in them, you know, and it'd reveal different scenes, you know. But yeah, we had a closeout today of a project that's over on Fun My Comic, and we do launches, you know. So if you got a project to launch, we absolutely want to promote. I feel like if I'm want to be promoted, then I need to promote others and give back, you know. So I do 90% promotion for other people and 10% maybe for me. Janet, thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. Because I had a couple people that couldn't make it, so I really appreciate it. And what I have going on tomorrow, I'll be playing on one of Bruce's games. And I do that every Saturday. I play. He's got 2 different games. One is a campaign he's been doing for like 16 years. It seems like, or many years. And the other one is a game that he's writing, and he's going to be putting out a manual and all that stuff with that. And Sunday, we're going to be doing the movie review for the movie. It's called Swordfish, starring Halle Berry and Hugh Jackman. And I can't remember the other tits. What's his name?
Gesundheit.
You don't remember?
What's
the
question?
Other actor's name from Swordfish? Do you remember? He was in Grease.
John Travolta?
Yeah, John Travolta. Sorry.
Ding, ding,
so
ding,
he's the other actor. So that's the movie we're doing.
I never saw the movie. Just kidding. How do you know this stuff?
But hope to see some of you there. And thank you everyone from X, Rumble, and YouTube for hanging out with us tonight for Halloween. And I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful day and evening. And I hope we didn't drive you up the wall. But it's the beginning of the weekend, and I think you guys are going to have a wonderful weekend. It's the first, so we're going to see what happens, because supposedly people's money's going to be cut off starting tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't think so.
Maybe nothing will happen. We'll see.
Look, government shutdown is good. 17% of the government. It only affects 17%. Don't buy into the lie, folks.
Yeah, try not to. And if you need something, go to your church, your local church, or your local food banks. Because I know a lot of people have been handing out lots of snacks and stuff and donating to all these churches and food banks. So if you need
people are
that,
losing their minds, but don't you be one of them.
Yeah, go there and try to get some help before you decide to get desperate and try to hurt somebody for something. It's not worth it.
No, please do it
No.
so you can be removed from the planet.
Well, I'm just hoping.
I
that
want
people
to. I'm ready
think
for.
it's smart.
I want
Yeah.
to put alligators in the Rio Grande.
But I want to say thank you again, and everybody
Marked
have
death
a
never been
wonderful
narrated.
weekend. Goodbye.
Boing.